I've lost count of the number of fundraisers and activist struggles that have had their roots like literally under this house on Laura Street. How do we foster radical counterculture and artistic experimentation when real estate is so damn expensive? Turnstyle is a rental share house that turned the space underneath the house into a multi-purpose bookable space that could be used for gigs and fundraisers and food cooperatives and art workshops and all sorts of cool projects. And then the backyard has been turned into a really lush, productive garden with a bike shed as well. I think Turnstyle's special because it reminds us that this boundary between the public sphere and the private sphere is really arbitrary and doesn't need to exist in that way. And I think that's kind of carried through in like the ethos of how people relate to the space, where people share and give what they can and support each other. People spend time getting to know their neighbours, developing these amazing community projects, essentially creating value for a neighbourhood, which property developers and speculators then try to monetize and appropriate. If we're relying too heavily on privately owned spaces, there's always a risk that the landlord's going to sell, and that was the case with Turnstyle. Like, it's a rental home. So what we're seeing here in Brisbane's inner south side is the same pattern that we see in a lot of cities, where the treatment of housing as a speculative commodity and the desire to make money out of real estate basically fractures and displaces community. One of the things that Turnstyle has taught us is the value of being resilient and flexible and making do with what you've got and making the best of the situation you're in. In that sense, I think those ideas and that kind of spirit or ethos of Turnstyle is going to live on long after the physical project. That doesn't mean that we just have to let it go and lie down and accept gentrification as something that's unavoidable and inevitable. When pretty poorly maintained 3-bedroom house is selling for close to $1.5 million, we've got a serious problem in this city. Like, that is bonkers and highlights that something is fundamentally wrong with the treatment of housing as a commodity.